Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video we'll be catching up with all the news for the new HORUS Heresy Legions Imperialis. There's been a couple of articles out over the past few days since we saw the release at the online preview last weekend, so let's go through all of those, catching up with some key points, and also getting the sizes confirmed with some great examples. I'm still unsure about this. I don't know whether it's something I want to get or not. It looks pretty cool. Reminds me a lot of Micro Machines when I was a kid, so that'd be really fun to get that kind of nostalgia back, but combining it with the Warhammer hobby. So that's a really big attraction for me. But let me know what you think about this. Is this game interesting to you so far? If you're still undecided about it like I am, then hopefully this video will help both of us figure out whether or not it's a game to add to the collection. Right, let's start off with the first article. We'll work our way through. There was a good article. It said 10 things you need to know about the new Legions Imperialis. So let's work our way through some of the key points from that article. And the first thing they say is that Legions Imperialis is epic scale. It's the same as Adeptus Titanicus and Aeronautica Imperialis. So if you've played those games, you've seen those models, you're going to know exactly what to expect from the sizes. We'll have a little bit closer look at some of the sizes later on in the video with some great silhouette comparisons that Games Workshop put out in another article. So we'll cover that a little later on. But at least we've got the scale sorted out so we know exactly what we're looking at there. A quick note on Aeronautica Imperialis. This was put up on the Warhammer community site today, just showing that some of the range is going to go to last chance to buy. So it says it won't be available for a while. Could come back with those releases that they do, limited edition releases. So I have to wait and see. So if you're looking at picking up any of those, then I would head over and have a look. In this new game, you're going to be working with detachments, and these are equivalent to the individual units that you'll see in other Warhammer games. The great thing about this game that I think sounds really interesting is that the activation of these detachments is going to alternate. So you're going to move or fire a detachment, it tells us in the article, but then your opponent does so, and then you're going to go back and forth. So that's really cool. It's going to be alternating activations, which is a real big appeal. I think that's awesome. It's got a kind of feel of a skirmish game here, actually, and I really want to know more about the detachments. Because I'm thinking the detachment is going to be like a group of tanks or a group of these 5-man squads, for example. So I think it's going to not be moving each individual one. I think it could be you move them as a detachment. So that's going to be great. That's going to make it more of a skirmish, I think. I could be well wrong here. So if you've heard anything about how these detachments are going to be put together, it'd be great if you can add a comment down below. One thing's for sure, they've done a great job on these miniatures. We'll flick through some different images as I talk about the next point, which is that in every game of Legions Imperialis, the primary mission is going to be to capture objective markers. That seems obvious. Their value is going to be determined by the mission being played, and you'll earn victory points at the end of each round, and so you can't focus on just taking out the enemy to win. You really have to go after those victory points by getting the objectives. We're told that strategic decisions begin before the battle, so we're going to have to be choosing the different detachments we want to go in for, and each one is going to have its own role, and so that's going to be very specific for what it can do on the battlefield. And there's also going to be choices to make about which weapons we give to those detachments as well. I think we're going to see this coming into play certainly with some of the bigger models like the Warhound Titans. One thing I really like the sound of is that you can put together an army of just gunships, so you can have a full-on aerial assault, and that's it. Or you could go completely all tanks, which I think sounds really fun. So this definitely is a different kind of game, and I don't think this is just going to be a scaled-down version of Warhammer HORUS Heresy or 40k. So we'll have to wait and see on the rules and when we get more details about those. But yeah, I'm thinking this is sounding more and more interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing what people do with the terrain for this game for sure. I think there's lots of fun to be had there, putting together battlefields. You can make a giant battlefield on a small table, which I think would be really fun. So yeah, the terrain is going to be a big element of this for me. Now let's have a look at the size. This is moving on to a different article now that they went through, showing us exactly how big things are going to be, making some direct comparisons. So here we can see that the Legions Imperialis miniatures are going to be roughly a quarter the size of the original models. And they say that this is universal across the range. That means all dimensions have been reduced and things have been engineered slightly differently to make sure that the right details stand out on the tabletop. So that's a direct quote from that article. So hopefully that gives you a good idea about what to expect from the size, but there's some really nice examples here, so let's work through them. Here you can see they've got 4 Space Marines stacked up from the Legions Imperialis there alongside a regular Horus Heresy miniature. So you can see 4 of those little dudes are going to be pretty much the same height as the regular one. This one looks really cool, the Contemptor Dreadnought. I can't wait to see this. I think it's scaled down, but you can still get a load of the detail coming through. So this is going to be a real fun model to have on the table. Then there's the tanks. These are probably going to be the funnest ones to have, the tanks and the flyers. Really looking forward to those. This is definitely what makes me think of Micro Machines. Here's a Lehman Russ battle tank. This one looks great. And it's going to be so cool to have a big army of just tanks, maybe even tanks and flyers going together. So that could be a good way to go as well. I think just having one and collecting and putting it together would be a great project. If you can get a few games in as well, even better. But I just wonder how many people are going to buy this. There you go then, we've caught up with everything we've heard so far. It looks like they're going to be putting out lots of articles over the next few weeks, so looking forward to finding out more. I'll keep updating if this is the sort of thing you want to see. Let me know in the comments down below if you're following along and you want me to cover it on the channel. But here you can see everything that's going to be included in that box set. You're also going to get the book as well. I expect there's going to be dice and measuring gauges and things like that too, but we'll have to find out. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, so let me know in the comment section down below. Are you interested in the game? Do you think you'll be getting it, and how much do you think it will be? I'd like to say a huge thank you to Baron of Dice and Free Company for sponsoring the channel this month, and thanks to all the other sponsors that have helped me with the tournament and with the channel this month. I hope you found this video helpful, but if Horus Heresy isn't your thing, then you might like to watch some updates I've done for Warhammer 40,000 with the new starter sets, and Warcry, which also gets a beginner's starter set as well. So lots to catch up with there, linked at the end of this video. But thanks so much for watching. If you did like this one, it'd be great if you hit the like button, subscribe for more videos like this one, and I look forward to seeing you here next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games. Thank you so much to my Patreon supporters for helping me to keep going with these regular videos. I couldn't do this without you, and I appreciate your support so much. If you'd like to join the Patreon community, support the channel, get some great perks at the same time, there's a link down below in the description. It'll be awesome to see you there.